Erica back on the Altenew YouTube channel, and today I thought we'd play with this gorgeous Blooming Doily Charm 3D embossing folder. It has the most gorgeous texture. And it's a little known fact about me, that I do love some fantastic texture. So we are going to take a little bit of white cardstock and we are going to put that straight into our embossing folder. Like, we're going to get that medallion right there in the middle. We're going to get that right in the middle of our current base. Okay, I know that made a lot of sense, didn't it? Now, it's super important that you have the right kind of sandwich when you're writing. No, well, I guess when the embossing folder is riding through the die cutting machine, when you are rolling this through your die cutting machine. So do make sure that you check the instruction booklet for your particular machine. On my Platinum 6, it actually tells me on my platform base what I need. So for this one, I need the first big thick platform base. Then I simply put my embossing folder with the cardstock inside of it right on top of that, and then we're going to use the adapter plate. It is a very, very light gray and it's called D. So it has a D on it and it says adapter plate, and that's all you need. Now, it will run through your die cutting machine, if you have one of these, that is, very, very easily, to the point you might think, how is this possibly going to actually imprint that gorgeous texture onto the cardstock? It's just like, I'm not having to work here. But it does amazingly. Now, this is so pretty. Look at that. We're just gonna freeze this here for a second because look at that. Ooh, so pretty, right? And it looked so good in white. I thought, why not do a second one while we had this whole shebang out anyway? So we're going to use a little bit of jet black cardstock as well, because, you know, it's good with a bit of contrast and different options and stuff. You know, it's good to experiment. Let's go with experiment rather than obsessively trying all the different colors and options. So we're going to run this through again, and we're going to do exactly the same thing. Platform base, the embossing folder, our adapter plate, and and we are done. This, when you do it properly, it takes seconds. I kid you not. I didn't actually check my instructions to begin with the first time I did this, but oh my goodness, it's so much easier when you actually do it the way the machine is intended to do it, rather than having to crank that handle like there is no tomorrow. Now, while I had my die cutting machine out, I also decided to cut out some of the Timeless Sentiment 2 word sentiments. Yeah, so this is one of my favorite word sentiment sets ever. It is true and tested, and we're going to use it for the cards today as well. Now, the black and gold, very classic, very elegant, works with a lot of stuff, but of course we need more options. Well, I mean, we need at least one more because we're going to make at least 2 cards. Now, while I was on a bit of a roll, roll with the die cutting machine, rolling through, get it? I thought, why not, you know, make another one as well, because I was looking at that gold and black one and I was thinking, I think it would look good with gold at the background and black letters. So as you do, I cut out some more, and I know I'm also trying to work through all of these bits and pieces that I have already got, that I have made obsessively over time, you know, so many options to have on hand. And yeah, so I did end up with a spare one as well, and you might notice that there are 4 in this. So we started out with the plan of making 1 card, and then it quickly rolled into 2, and we actually end up with 3 cards at the end of this. But apart from the fact that we're using the same embossing folder, we're using the same word sentiment, I have put like their own little spin on things. So hold tight, we are going to have some fun with this. But I think this is just like a good reminder of having and using the same products doesn't necessarily mean that everything is going to come out exactly the same all the time. So this is where you need to listen to those like creative voices inside and see like, oh, what feels good, what is looking good, what is sparking that joy inside of you when you're creating, because that's essentially what we want, you know. We want to come out of every crafting session having either learned something, created something amazing, or, you know, maybe even discovered a new way of doing things that we thought, I'm not sure about this. But for our third panel, we are going to very, very lightly ink blend some color onto that pattern. And I am using mostly the ink that is left onto my brushes. So there is a little bit of like adding of some of the colors here, just because like my pink was very, very light and my yellow was very, very light. But I'm just going to go in for like a very pastel-y look. So we're not going to go crazy with the coverage here. Just enough to kind of make that pattern, like all of those creases and the texture in the cardstock is going to pick up the color. So we're not going to saturate our panel here. It's just to give it enough of a like a pastel-y kind of dreamy, fluffy look. If paper can be fluffy, you know. Anyway, so we have got a white panel, we have our little kind of pastel-y color panel, and we also have a black panel. Now we are going to put together the rest of these word die cuts that I decided to cut out, and this one I am particularly excited about. It is jet black cardstock with the brushed gold metallic cardstock, which is my absolute favorite. I mean, if you have seen my videos, you might have noticed that I use this a lot. And there's a good reason for this, because it is so gorgeous. It has enough shine that you get that sort of like glamorous feel, but it's not super shiny, that you see yourself in the reflection of it. That brushed kind of satiny look to it is just chef's kiss. I absolutely love it. The only thing that is a teeny tiny little bit tricky is that when you're trying to glue things to it, it is a little bit slippery. So we're going to press down our dyed pieces here, and then we're going to place something on top to make sure that it all kind of like dries flat. So make sure that you're getting everything into the right place. And then if you have a couple of the ink pads, you know, especially the oval ones, they fit great on top of this, then they will do the job. Now, I actually forgot to film part of this because I'm a lunatic, I guess, but I had another idea which actually was inspired by the ink blended panel in the back there. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun to kind of do it like the opposite for my white panel? So we have the actual shadow part of the word die is ink blended. This time I've gone a little bit heavier though with the color, because I thought, you know, we wanted to stand out a little bit more. So our background is going to be white, our shadow part is going to be ink blended, and then we're going to add those gold have a good day words on top of that. And it's just going to look so good. I promise you. Just hang in there. Now, here I was like, ooh, maybe this will look really good on that one as well. But no. We're going to stick to what we've got. And I know that sounds crazy because I have made more pieces already than I need to. But again, bear with me. I promise you the results will be so worth it. And I would love to hear what you think with, you know, the backgrounds especially. Do you think leaving them as they are, like white cardstock or black cardstock or any other color cardstock? Do you want to leave them like that? Or how do you like to highlight the texture and the pattern? But look at this one. Look at that, came out so good. Now, I think it would have looked really good with black words as well, but we are not going to cut out anymore. No, at this point, I had to rein myself in a little bit. So I had a pretty good idea of which one was going to go on which, but there was a little bit of I mean, the gold one does look so good though, doesn't it? But in the end, I was like, nope, we're going to keep one, we're going to put one aside, and we're just going to keep on doing this, because the temptation to make another background so that we would have 4 cards was strong, let me tell you. Oh, so strong. But we have 3 cards, and now what we're going to do is we're going to add the word dice and the actual sentiments and our backgrounds, our panels and backgrounds to card bases. So we still want to kind of like add a little bit of like height and layers to this, right? Because all of that gorgeous texture in the background is not enough. No. And I might add a smattering of some gorgeousness coming in June as well to these cards. And yes, you guessed correct if you were guessing the stellar sequence. They are going to come out, and there's going to be a very healthy sprinkling of those as well, because why not? Yeah. Oh, okay. So we are going to keep on adding foam tape. So this is our instant dimension foam tape. Now I do have some of this on backing tape so that I can cut them without getting like stickiness on my scissors. Now the little scissors that I'm using are from Altenew, and they seem to, I think they're coated with Teflon or something, because they don't actually seem to pick up the stickiness. But you know, it's better to be safe than sorry, because ain't nobody got time for sticky scissors, because it just ruins your whole day, doesn't it? Oh yeah. We don't want sticky scissors. Now, on some of these, I did change the sort of, okay, so the layout, I mean, there's not much of a layout, let's be honest here. But I did change the placing on one of these, because I originally thought, okay, well, if we're going to do 2 cards, let's do them exactly the same, but, you know, different color cardstock. And then when the third one came in, I was like, well, can we do placement as the exact same, like on all 3 cards? So I did add on the black card, you can see it kind of went down towards the left hand corner, and I think that was a good call. But now I'm also thinking, if I'd had that in the middle, I could have added so many more of these gorgeous champagne stellar sequins. Oh, but I will make up for that on another card, so don't you worry. There's going to be plenty of bling bling from the mayor of Blingtown on these cards. Now, one thing that I really, really love, and I'm sure that you are going to be equally excited about, is the fact that these stellar sequins come in 6 different sizes. So there's not going to be any boring same size embellishment on these cards, whatever you are adding them to. The fact that you have 6 different sizes, they are going to fit onto whatever project you're making. And there is so many in each one of those out of each size as well. So you're definitely not going to run out anytime soon. I will say, out of all of the colors that are going to be released, I think the champagne and probably, I would say, the sparkling iridescent, clear iridescent are my favorite. I mean, the dazzling diamond are really good. Okay, now I'm all of a sudden just mentioning like 50% out of the colors being released. But, you know, you pick whichever color you think is going to work best for your project and your style as well. But here on this one, you might notice that, yes, I have gone absolutely crazy. I mean, this is a lot even from my like bling level, and I tend to go all out with the bling. Even I was thinking, oh, this might like be almost too much. But then when they're all glued down and they're all kind of like, they work so well with that pattern. Oh, I gotta say, I think this one was also an equally good call, because again, I'm not going to run out anytime soon, even with all of those sequins used. And they just work so amazingly with that gold cardstock on that word die. Oh, yeah. So far, I think this white one might actually be my favorite out of the 3. But, oof, look at the sparkle. It's so good. So good. I am big fan of that one. Now, with this one, I have gone slightly less generous. I mean, that's not difficult. I will admit that. But I do really like how the black is making those word dice stand out. So for this one, I decided to kind of tone it down a little bit bling wise, but we're still going to bring in a little bit of black. I was very, very tempted to use the Milky Way gem sparkles, but in the end I decided to go with the black Onyx ones, because like I put them down onto the background like this just to kind of see, and this is the brilliance of them being on a clear acetate. And I think the black ones, they I mean, there wasn't even a question. They just pop, right? They pop. So I put some of the medium-sized ones in the kind of middle of the medallions there. And then I was like, oh, it's just not enough. I know I have a problem. I really do. But I decided to add just one of the smaller size to that. Now, it was super, super tempting to add two of the little ones, but I thought, no, we're gonna put this away, put them them back in the packaging, and then just, this is it. So we have Black Onyx Gem Sparkles, we have Stellar Sequins in Champagne, and also, again, the Champagne Stellar Sequins. But we have used very, very few products here, really, if you don't count the ink blending and the inks used. But I like seeing them next to each other like this. I'm like, oh, they each good on their own, and then you put them together and it's like, oh, I still think that the white one is my favorite, but I would love to hear which one you like the most. And with that, I am all done for today. I really, really hope this has inspired you to kind of look at using your products and the things that you have in your stash without kind of adding too much else. Like, how little can you go and still get like a wow? Consider it a creative challenge. I will see you soon again. Bye for now.
Hello there. Did that video just spark your creativity? And do you want more project ideas and inspiration videos too? Well, if you do, please make sure that you subscribe to the Altenew YouTube channel. Also, make sure that you do click that notification bell so you don't miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.